Have you ever seen an advertisement on the internet? An advertisement that promises something amazing. Something like, learn English fast. Just listen while you sleep. It sounds like a wonderful dream. Imagine going to bed, putting on your headphones, and waking up in the morning with new English words in your brain. It seems too good to be true. This idea is often called sleep learning. The idea is that your brain can listen to information while you are sleeping, and you can learn without any effort. Many people want to believe this is possible. Our lives are very busy. We have work, school, family, and chores. It can be difficult to find time to study a new language. So the idea of learning while we sleep is very attractive. It feels like a magic shortcut. But here is the important question. Does it really work? Can you really become fluent in English just by listening to audio files at night? Scientists have studied this question for many years. They have studied the brain during sleep. They have done many experiments, and the answer in the end is quite simple. The answer is no. You cannot learn a new language like English while you are sleeping. This might be disappointing news for some people. It is sad to know that the magic shortcut is not real. But this is also good news. It is good news because now you can stop looking for magic tricks. Now you can focus on the real methods that truly work. Learning a language is not a magic trick. It is a journey. It is a process. It requires effort, time, and dedication. But this journey is also very rewarding. The feeling of understanding a movie in English or having a conversation with a new friend from another country is a much better feeling than any magic trick can give you. So in this book, we are going to talk about the real path to learning English. We will forget about the dream of sleep learning, and we will focus on the real, effective, and enjoyable ways to learn. This is not a story about shortcuts. This is a story about building real skills step by step. It is the story of how you can truly learn English. Chapter 2. The real secret active learning versus passive learning. To understand why sleep learning doesn't work, we need to understand two very important ideas: active learning and passive learning. These two ideas are the key to understanding how our brains learn a language. What is passive learning? Passive learning is when you receive information without doing anything with it. Your brain is not working hard. It is like sitting in a car and looking out the window. You see many things, but you are not driving the car. Examples of passive learning include listening to an English podcast while you are doing something else like cooking or cleaning, watching an English movie with subtitles in your own language, having an English TV show on in the background while you look at your phone. In these situations, your ears hear the English language, but your brain is not fully engaged. You are a passive observer. Passive learning is not completely useless. It can help you get used to the sounds and rhythm of English. It can make you feel more comfortable with the language, but it is not enough to help you learn and remember new things effectively. Sleep learning is the most passive form of learning there is. Your brain is resting, not working. What is active learning? Active learning is the opposite. Active learning is when your brain is working hard. You are engaged with the material. You are thinking, doing, and using the language. It is like driving the car, not just sitting in it. You have to pay attention to the road, use the steering wheel, and make decisions. Examples of active learning include listening to an English podcast and trying to write down the main ideas, watching an English movie with English subtitles, and pausing to look up new words, speaking English with a language partner, writing a short paragraph in your English journal, doing a grammar exercise or a vocabulary quiz. In these situations, you are not just receiving information, you are interacting with it. You are using your brain to understand, remember, and produce the language. Why is active learning so important? Active learning is the real secret to making progress in English. When you are active, you are telling your brain, this information is important. You need to remember this. Your brain then works to create strong connections. These strong connections are what we call memory. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. Can you learn to ride a bicycle just by watching videos of other people riding? It's impossible. You have to get on the bicycle yourself. You have to try to pedal. You will probably fall down a few times. But every time you try, every time you practice, your brain and your body learn. You are learning actively. Learning English is the same. You cannot become fluent just by passively listening. You must actively participate in the process. You must try to speak even if you make mistakes. You must try to write even if your sentences are not perfect. You must try to understand even if it is difficult. The rest of this book will focus on active learning methods. We will give you many simple and practical ways to engage with the English language every day. Remember, the goal is not to find the easiest way to learn. The goal is to find the most effective way to learn, and the most effective way is always active. Chapter 3. Building your listening skills actively. We know that listening is the foundation of language learning, but just hearing English is not enough. We need to practice active listening. Active listening means you are paying full attention and trying to understand the message. Let's explore some active listening techniques that you can start using today. Technique 1. Focused listening. This is the opposite of having English on in the background. For this technique, you need to find a quiet place where you will not be distracted. Put your phone away, close tabs on your computer. Your only job for the next 10 or 15 minutes is to listen. Choose a short audio clip. It can be from a podcast for English learners, a short news story, or even a scene from a TV show. The audio should be at your level or just a little bit difficult. First, listening. Listen to the entire audio clip one time. Don't stop. Just try to understand the general topic or the main idea. What is it about? Who is speaking? What is the mood? Second, listening. Listen again. This time, you can pause the audio. Try to understand more details. If there is a word you don't know but you think it is important, write it down. Third, listening. Listen one more time. Now that you know the main idea and some of the details, see how much more you can understand. You will be surprised. This focus practice trains your brain to pay attention and to find meaning even when you don't understand every word. Technique 2. Listening with a purpose. Another way to be an active listener is to give yourself a task to do while you listen. This gives you a reason to listen carefully. Here are some simple tasks you can do. Listen for specific information. Before you listen, ask yourself a question. For example, if you are listening to a weather report, your question could be, "What will the temperature be tomorrow?" Then you listen carefully just for the answer to that question. Listen and write down keywords. Listen to a short audio clip and write down the 5 most important words you hear. This forces you to identify the key vocabulary. Listen and summarize. After you listen to a story or a short talk, try to say or write a 1S sentence summary. For example, this audio was about a man who wants to buy a new car. When you listen with a purpose, you are not just a passive receiver of sound. You are an active searcher for information. Technique 3. Using transcripts. A transcript is the written text of an audio recording. Many podcasts and videos for English learners provide a transcript. This is an incredibly powerful tool for active listening. Here is a great method to use with transcripts. Listen first without the text. Try to understand as much as you can. Listen again while reading the transcript. This is where you connect the sounds you hear with the words you see. You can see the spelling of new words and how sentences are formed. Read the transcript out loud. Now you can practice your own pronunciation. Try to copy the intonation and rhythm of the native speaker. Listen one last time without the text. You will be amazed at how much clearer the audio sounds. Now, this process turns a simple listening exercise into a powerful lesson that includes reading and speaking practice as well. Remember, active listening is a skill. It requires more effort than passive listening, but the results are much, much better. By practicing these techniques, you're not just hearing English, you are truly learning to understand it. This is a real step on your journey to fluency. Chapter 4. Building your speaking skills actively. Speaking is often the biggest fear for English learners, but it is also one of the most important skills. You can learn to speak English even if you don't live in an English-speaking country, and even if you don't have a teacher. The key, once again, is active practice. Let's look at some simple but powerful ways to actively practice your speaking. Technique 1. The power of speaking aloud. The first step to becoming a better speaker is to get comfortable with the sound of your own voice speaking English. The best way to do this is to speak out loud. Even when you are alone, read out loud. When you are doing reading practice, don't just read silently in your head. Read the text out loud. This does 2 things. First, it practices your pronunciation. Your mouth and tongue are muscles, and they need exercise to make the new sounds of English. Second, it helps you remember the words and sentences better because you are both seeing them and hearing them. Repeat what you hear. When you are watching a movie or listening to a podcast and you hear a short, interesting sentence, pause the audio and repeat the sentence out loud. Try to copy the speaker's pronunciation and intonation exactly. This is a simple but very effective way to improve your accent and sound more natural. Technique 2. Narrate your life. We talked about this technique before, but it is so good that we should talk about it again. Narrating your life means describing what you are doing, seeing, or thinking out loud in English. This is active speaking practice at its best. You are not repeating sentences from a book. You are creating your own sentences about your own life. This forces your brain to actively search for words and build sentences. In the morning. Okay, it's time to get up. I'm walking to the kitchen now. I'm going to make some coffee. I need a cup and some water. At the supermarket. I am in the supermarket. I need to buy some vegetables. I see the carrots. I am putting some carrots in my basket. Now, I need some milk. In the evening, I am tired. I am sitting on the sofa. I am going to watch a TV show now. This show is very funny. It might feel strange at first, but this is one of the most powerful ways to start thinking in English and to make your speaking more automatic. Technique 3. Answer questions out loud. Another great way to practice speaking by yourself is to find questions and answer them out loud. You can find lists of simple conversation questions online. Search for basic English conversation questions. You will find questions like, what is your favorite color? What did you do last weekend? What are your hobbies? Read the question and then try to answer it out loud in a full sentence. Question: what is your favorite food? Your answer out loud. My favorite food is pizza. I like it because it has cheese and tomatoes. I sometimes eat pizza on Fridays. This is excellent practice because you are not just saying one word, pizza. You are practicing forming complete sentences and giving reasons or extra details just like in a real conversation. Technique 4. Use a voice recorder. Your smartphone has a voice recorder app. This is a very useful tool. You can record yourself doing any of the speaking exercises above. After you record yourself, listen back. How is your pronunciation? Are you speaking clearly? Are you making any common grammar mistakes? Listening to yourself can be a little strange at first, but it is the best way to find your own weaknesses and work on improving them. You become your own teacher. Speaking English is a physical skill. You have to practice it to get better. Don't wait for the perfect moment to start speaking. The perfect moment is now. Start with these simple active exercises, and you will build the confidence you need to have real conversations. Chapter 5. Building your reading skills actively. Reading is a wonderful way to learn English. It is quiet. You can do it anywhere, and you can go at your own pace. But to get the most benefit from reading, you need to be an active reader. An active reader doesn't just let their eyes move over the words. An active reader thinks about what they are reading. Let's explore some simple techniques to become a more active and effective reader. Technique 1. Before you read, predict. Before you even start reading an article or a story, take 30 seconds to look at it and make some predictions. Look at the title. What do you think the text will be about? For example, if the title is A Day at the Beach, you can predict that the story will talk about the sun, the ocean, and swimming. Look at any pictures. Pictures give you big clues about the story. Read the first sentence. The first sentence of a paragraph often tells you the main idea. When you make predictions, you are activating your brain. You are getting it ready to understand the text. This simple step makes a big difference. Technique 2. While you read, interact with the text. Don't just be a passive consumer of words. Interact with what you are reading. Highlight or underline. Use a pen or a highlighter to mark important things. You can highlight new vocabulary words that you don't know, interesting phrases or expressions that you like, the main idea of each paragraph. Write notes in the margin. If you are reading your own book, you can write small notes in the margin. You can write a question, a thought, or a summary of a paragraph. For example, next to a difficult paragraph, you could write this part is about his childhood. This helps you to check your understanding as you go. Technique 3. After you read, summarize, and retell. What you do after you finish reading is very important for your memory. Summarize. Close the book or turn off the screen. Now try to summarize what you just read. You can do this in 2 ways. Write a summary. Write a few sentences in your notebook that explain the main points of the text. Say a summary. Speak the summary out loud. You can pretend you're telling a friend about the story you just read. For example, I just read a story about a man named Leo. On Saturday, he went to the park and met his friend. On Sunday, he cleaned his apartment. Retell the story. This is a more advanced version of summarizing. Try to retell the whole story in your own words. Don't worry about using the exact same words as the text. The goal is to use the ideas and the vocabulary you remember to create your own version of the story. This is fantastic practice for both your memory and your speaking skills. Technique 4. The just read method. Sometimes it is also important to just read for pleasure. This is called extensive reading. For this method, you choose a book that is very easy for you. You should understand almost all the words. When you do extensive reading, you don't stop to look up words. You don't take notes. You just read. You read for fun like you would in your own language. This method is very good for building your reading speed and your confidence. It helps your brain to get used to processing English quickly and automatically. It reminds you that reading in English can be a relaxing and enjoyable activity. A good learning plan should include both active reading with a difficult text and extensive reading with an easy, enjoyable text. By combining these methods, you will become a strong and confident reader in English. Chapter 6. Building your writing skills actively. Writing is a skill that many English learners avoid. They think it is too difficult, or they worry too much about making spelling and grammar mistakes. But just like speaking, writing is an active skill that helps you improve in many ways. When you write, you have to slow down, choose your words carefully, and think about sentence structure. This process strengthens your knowledge of English. You don't need to write a perfect essay to practice your writing. You can start with very simple, short, and practical exercises. Technique 1. The daily sentence. This is the easiest way to start a writing habit. The goal is to write just one sentence in English every day. That's it. One sentence. What can you write about? You can write about anything. You can write about something you did today. I ate a delicious apple. You can write about how you feel. I feel very happy today because it is sunny. You can write about a new word you learned. I learned the word cozy. My living room is very cozy. The power of this technique is in its consistency. If you write one sentence every day, by the end of the year, you will have written 365 sentences. You will have built a strong habit, and you will no longer be afraid of writing in English. Technique 2. The private journal. A journal is your secret private space to practice writing because nobody else will read it. You can write freely without worrying about mistakes. This is very important for building confidence. You can expand on the daily sentence technique. Try writing a short paragraph in your journal every evening before you go to bed. You can summarize your day. Today was a busy day. I went to work in the morning. I had a meeting with my boss. After work, I went to the supermarket. I bought food for the week. Now I am tired and ready to sleep. You can write about your goals. This week, I want to practice my English listening. I will listen to one podcast every day. I also want to learn 10 new vocabulary words. Keeping a journal helps you get used to expressing your personal thoughts and experiences in English. Technique 3, guided writing. Sometimes it's difficult to know what to write about. This is where guided writing can help. Guided writing means you use a model or a prompt to help you write. Copying. This might sound strange, but copying is a very old and effective learning method. Find a short, well-written paragraph in English. It could be from a book, an article, or a story. Read it carefully, then copy it by hand into your notebook. When you copy, you pay attention to every word, every comma, and every period. You are noticing the structure of good writing. Using a prompt. A prompt is a question or a topic that gives you an idea for writing. You can find many writing prompts online. For example, a prompt could be, "What is your favorite holiday? Describe it." Or, "If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?" Prompts like these make writing feel like a fun game. Technique 4. Using technology to get feedback. While it's important not to worry too much about mistakes, it's also good to learn from them. Technology can help you with this. After you write a short text, you can type it into a free online grammar checker. These tools will show you your spelling mistakes and suggest corrections for your grammar. When you see the corrections, don't just accept them. Try to understand why it was a mistake. Did you use the wrong verb tense? Did you forget an article? This is a great way to learn grammar in a very practical way. Writing is a skill that connects your brain to the page. It helps you organize your thoughts and solidify your knowledge of vocabulary and grammar. Start with one sentence today and watch your confidence and your skills grow. Chapter 7. How to remember vocabulary forever. You learn a new word, you feel excited, you write it down. The next day, it's gone. Does this sound familiar? Forgetting vocabulary is one of the most frustrating parts of learning a language, but it doesn't have to be this way. The problem is often not your memory. It's the method you are using to learn. Just reading a word and its translation is not enough for your brain to create a strong memory. You need to use more active and creative techniques. Let's explore some powerful methods to make new English words stick in your brain forever. Method 1. Make it personal. Our brains are very good at remembering things that are connected to our own lives, our feelings, and our experiences. So when you learn a new word, the most important thing you can do is to connect it to yourself. How to do it? When you learn a new word, don't just write the definition. Create a sentence using that word that is true for you. Example: let's say you learn the adjective exhausted, which means very, very tired. A bad example sentence is, the man is exhausted. This is boring and has no connection to you. A good personal example sentence is, after I cleaned my whole apartment on Saturday, I felt exhausted. Or last night my baby cried a lot, so today I am exhausted. Now the word is connected to a real feeling and a real memory in your life. This personal connection is like glue for your memory. Method 2. Create a strong visual image. Our brains think in pictures. An image is much more powerful than just a word. When you learn a new word, close your eyes for 10 seconds and create a mental movie for it. Make the image strange, funny, or full of emotion. Strong images are easier to remember. Example: let's say you learn the verb to shiver, which means to shake slightly because you are cold or scared. Your mental movie: imagine you are standing outside in the winter. You are wearing only a t-shirt. You can see your breath in the air. You feel the cold wind on your skin, and your whole body starts to shake uncontrollably. That feeling, that action, that is shivering. When you create this strong sensory image, your brain has a picture to connect to the word. Method 3. Learn word friends. Collocations in English. Some words are almost always found together. These word partnerships are called collocations. Learning words together with their friends makes you sound much more natural, and it's easier for your brain to remember them as a single chunk. Many learners translate directly from their native language. For example, they might say a strong rain, but the natural English collocation is heavy rain. Instead of just learning the word mistake, learn the full phrase, make a mistake. Instead of just learning photo, learn take a photo. Instead of just learning attention, learn pay attention. When you see a new word, ask yourself what other words are often used with it. You can search online for your new word plus collocation to find its friends. Method 4. Use spaced repetition. Learning a word once is not enough. To move a word from your short-term memory to your long-term memory, you need to review it multiple times with breaks in between. This is called spaced repetition. The schedule. A good review schedule is review 1 10 minutes after you first learn the word. Review 2 1 day later, review 3 days later, review 4 1 week later, review 5 1 month later. This system feels like magic, but it's based on science. It tells your brain that this information is important and should be saved. You can use flashcard apps like Anki that use this system automatically, or you can do it yourself with a notebook. Method 5. Use the word actively. The final and most important step is to use the new word. You have to take it out of your notebook and use it in a real way. The 24-hour challenge. When you learn a new word, give yourself a challenge. You must try to use that word in the next 24 hours. You can use it when you are speaking to yourself. You can use it in your daily journal. You can use it in a comment you write on YouTube. The act of retrieving the word from your memory and using it to communicate is the final step that locks it into your brain. By using these active methods, you can stop the frustrating cycle of learning and forgetting. You can start building a rich and permanent English vocabulary. Chapter 8: The Importance of a Routine. We have talked about many different methods for practicing English, but how do you make sure you actually do them? The answer is simple but very powerful. You need a routine. A routine is a plan that you follow every day or every week. It is a habit. When you have a routine, you don't need to use your motivation or willpower every day. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings can change. Some days you feel motivated, some days you don't. But a routine is an action. It is something you do even when you don't feel like it. Building a good learning routine is maybe the most important step to becoming a successful language learner. 1. Why routines are powerful. They save mental energy. When you have a routine, you don't have to make a decision every day about what to study or when to study. The decision is already made. This saves your mental energy for the most important thing, learning. They build momentum. When you do something every day, even for a short time, you build momentum. It's like pushing a big ball. At first, it's hard to get it moving, but once it's rolling, it's much easier to keep it going. A daily learning habit builds momentum and makes it easier to continue. They create results. Small, consistent actions lead to big results over time. Studying for 15 minutes every day is almost 2 hours of study per week. That is over 100 hours of study in a year. These small daily efforts add up to amazing progress. 2. How to create your routine. Creating a routine is a personal process. You need to find what works for you, your life, and your schedule. Step 1. Find your time. Look at your daily schedule. When do you have a small amount of free time? It could be 15 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes during your lunch break, or 30 minutes in the evening. Find a time that is usually free and quiet. This will be your English time. Step 2. Start small. This is very important. Do not try to create a routine that is too ambitious. Do not say, I will study for 3 hours every day. This is very difficult to maintain. It is much better to start with a small, realistic goal, like I will study for 15 minutes every day. You can always do more if you feel good, but the goal is the minimum you must do. Step 3. Use habit stacking. A great way to build a new habit is to connect it to an old habit that you already do every day. This is called habit stacking. Example, after I drink my morning coffee, I will do my English practice. Example, when I get on the bus to go to work, I will listen to an English podcast. Example, before I go to sleep, after I brush my teeth, I will write one sentence in my English journal. When you connect your new English habit to an existing habit, it is much easier to remember and to do automatically. 3. An example of a simple weekly routine. Here is an example of what a simple, balanced routine could look like. Monday listening. Listen to one English song and read the lyrics. 15 minutes. Tuesday reading. Read 2 pages of a graded reader. 15 minutes. Wednesday speaking. Narrate your evening activities out loud, 10 minutes. Thursday, vocabulary. Review your flash C cards, 10 minutes. Friday, writing. Write a short paragraph in your journal about your week, 15 minutes. Saturday, fun. Watch a movie or TV show in English. No pressure, just enjoy. Sunday, review, rest. Briefly review your notes from the week or just take a day off to rest. This is just an example. You can create your own routine based on your goals and interests. 4. Be flexible and forgive yourself. Life is unpredictable. Some days you will be very busy or very tired. Some days you might miss your routine. That is okay. It is not a disaster. The important thing is to not miss 2 days in a row. If you miss one day, forgive yourself and get back to your routine the next day. Don't let one missed day become a missed week or a missed month. A good routine is your best friend on your English learning journey. It provides structure, builds consistency, and guarantees that you will make progress over time. Chapter 9. The importance of fun and passion. We have talked a lot about methods, techniques, and routines. These things are very important. But there is one more ingredient that is essential for success in language learning. That ingredient is fun. If you are not having fun, you will not continue. If your learning feels like a boring, difficult chore, you will eventually lose your motivation and stop. The most successful language learners are the ones who find a way to make the process enjoyable. They connect English with their passions. What is a passion? A passion is something you love to do. It is an activity that makes you feel happy, interested, and energetic. It is something you do not because you have to, but because you want to. What are your passions? Maybe you love music. Maybe you love movies or TV shows. Maybe you love video games. Maybe you love cooking. Maybe you love sports. Maybe you love fashion, history, science, or animals. Whatever your passion is, you can use it to learn English. When you combine English with something you already love, it doesn't feel like studying anymore. It just feels like enjoying your hobby. How to connect English with your passions. Let's look at some examples. If you love movies, start watching your favorite movies again, but this time in English. You already know the story, so it will be easier to understand. Pay attention to your favorite lines. How do the actors say them in English? If you love video games, change the language setting of your favorite game to English. You will learn a lot of practical vocabulary related to actions, items, and instructions. You will be so focused on playing the game that you will learn new words without even trying. If you love cooking, find a simple recipe blog or a YouTube channel in English. Try to follow a recipe and cook a meal. You will learn vocabulary for food, ingredients, and kitchen actions, and at the end, you get to eat a delicious meal. If you love sports, read news articles about your favorite team in English. Watch interviews with your favorite athletes. Listen to a sports podcast in English. You will be so motivated to understand the information that you will learn very quickly. If you love music, we talked about this before, but it is so important. Find the lyrics to your favorite English songs, read them, translate them, and sing them. This is one of the best ways to improve your pronunciation and learn natural phrases. Why does this work so well? When you are doing something you love, your brain is happy. It is relaxed and open to new information. You are not stressed or bored. You are engaged. This emotional connection makes learning much more effective. You are also learning English that is relevant to you. If you learn vocabulary about football because you love football, you will remember those words because you will see and hear them often. You will have opportunities to use them when you talk to other fans. So, take a moment to think about your passions. How can you bring more English into those activities? Your English learning journey should not be a series of boring tasks. It should be an adventure. It should be a way to explore your interests more deeply. When you find the fun in learning, you find the secret to long-term motivation and success. Make English your hobby, not just your subject. Chapter 10. Your Journey, Your Success. We have reached the end of our reading journey for today. We have talked about many things. We started with the dream of learning while you sleep, and we learned that the real path to success is through active, consistent, and enjoyable practice. Let's take a moment to review the most important ideas we have discussed. 1. There are no magic shortcuts. The first and most important lesson is that there are no magic tricks to learning a language. You cannot become fluent overnight. You cannot learn just by listening in your sleep. Real progress comes from real effort. When you accept this, you can stop wasting time looking for easy answers and start building real skills. 2. Active learning is key. The secret to effective learning is to be an active participant. You must engage your brain. You must listen with focus, speak with courage, read with curiosity, and write with purpose. Every time you actively use the language, you are building stronger connections in your brain. 3. Consistency is more important than intensity. It is much better to practice for 15 minutes every day than to practice for 3 hours once a week. Small, regular actions build strong habits and create amazing results over time. Your best friend on this journey is your daily routine. 4. Make it personal and fun. You will remember what is important to you. Connect English to your own life, your own feelings, and your own memories, and connect English to your passions. When you are having fun, your brain is open to learning, and you will never lose your motivation. 5. Be patient and kind to yourself. Learning a language is a long journey. There will be good days and bad days. Some days you will feel like a genius. Other days you will feel like you have forgotten everything. This is normal. Every single language learner in the world has this experience. Do not compare yourself to other people. Your journey is unique. The only person you should compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Be proud of your progress. No matter how small it seems, every new word you learn, every sentence you understand, every short conversation you have, these are all victories. Celebrate them. You have started a wonderful adventure. Learning English will open up new worlds for you. It will allow you to connect with new people, explore new cultures, and discover new ideas. You have already taken a huge step today by completing this long reading practice. This shows that you have the dedication and the focus to succeed. The journey ahead is long, but you have a map. You have the tools. You have the ability. Believe in yourself, trust the process, and enjoy every step of the way. Your success is waiting for you. Congratulations. You have just finished a very, very long reading practice. That is an incredible achievement, and you should be extremely proud of your focus and dedication. Today, we have explored the real path to learning English, a path of active practice, consistency, and enjoyment. I hope you feel motivated and ready to continue your journey with these effective methods. Remember, the most important step is always the next one you take. So for your practice, I have a question. What is the #1 real active tip from this video that you are going to start using this week? Let us know in the comments below. We would love to hear about your plan. If you found this special guided reading lesson helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Speak Up English for more content to improve your English skills. Keep practicing. Keep believing in yourself, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Goodbye. Chapter 1. Your first step. Finding your reason. Learning a new language is a big decision. It is the start of a long and exciting journey. Before you learn your first word, before you study your first grammar rule, you must ask yourself one very important question. Why? Why do you want to learn English? This question is the foundation of your entire learning journey. Your answer is your motivation. It is the fuel that will keep you going when the journey feels difficult. Many people have simple answers. They say, I want to learn English. But this is not a strong reason. It is not enough. You need a clear and personal vision. A vision is a picture in your mind of your future success. Let's think about some weak reasons, and then let's make them stronger. A weak reason is, I want to speak English fluently. This is weak because fluently is not specific. What does it mean? A stronger reason, a real vision, could be I want to have a 15-minute conversation in English with my friend from London without feeling nervous. I want to understand his jokes and tell him about my day. Do you see the difference? The second reason is personal and specific. You can imagine it. You can feel it. Another weak reason is, I want to travel. This is a good start, but we can make it better. A stronger vision could be, I want to travel to New York City. I want to confidently order food in a restaurant, ask for directions on the street, and have a simple conversation with the people I meet. I want to feel independent and not scared. One more weak reason, I need English for my job. This is a common reason, but let's make it more powerful. A stronger vision could be, I want to get a promotion at my job. To do this, I need to be able to write professional emails to my international clients and participate in meetings in English. I want to feel confident and professional. Take some time today to think about your why. What is your personal specific vision for learning English? Is it to connect with a family member who lives abroad? Is it to understand the lyrics of your favorite songs? Is it to study at a university in another country? Your reason must be important to you. It must be meaningful. When you have a clear vision, something amazing happens. Studying English is no longer something you have to do. It becomes something you want to do. You are not just learning a language, you are working towards your dream. Write down your vision. Put it somewhere you can see it every day, like on your desk or on the wall in your room. When you feel tired or unmotivated, you can look at your vision. You can remember why you started. This clear reason will be your guide and your greatest strength on the journey ahead. Chapter 2. Setting your goals. Creating a map. Now that you have your big vision, your why, it is time for the next step. We need to turn that big dream into a practical plan. To do this, we need to set goals. A vision is your destination, like a beautiful city you want to visit. But goals are the map that shows you how to get there step by step. Without goals, a big vision can feel overwhelming and impossible. But with clear goals, the journey becomes manageable. There is a famous method for setting goals called the SMART method. SMART TRT is an acronym. It stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound. Let's look at each part. Specific. Your goal should be very clear. I want to learn more. Vocabulary is not specific. A specific goal is, I want to learn 50 new words related to food and cooking. Measurable. You need to be able to measure your progress. How do you know if you have achieved your goal? I want to be better at listening is not measurable. A measurable goal is I want to be able to understand 80% of a 5-minute podcast for English learners. Attainable. Your goal should be realistic. It should be possible for you to achieve. If you work 12 hours a day, a goal to study English for 3 hours every day is probably not attainable. It is better to set a smaller goal that you can actually achieve. An attainable goal could be, I will study for 20 minutes every day. Relevant. Your goal should be important for your big vision. If your main reason for learning English is to travel, then a relevant goal would be, I want to learn how to ask for directions and order food. A less relevant goal would be, I want to learn how to write a business report. Your goals should directly help you reach your dream. Time-bound. Your goal needs a deadline. A deadline is a specific time or date. Without a deadline, it is easy to say, I will do it tomorrow. A time-bound goal is in 3 months I want to be able to have a simple 5-minute conversation with a language partner. Let's look at some examples of weak goals and how to make them smart goals. Weak goal. I want to learn English. Smart goal. In 6 months, I want to pass the A2 level English exam so I can apply for the new job at my company. Weak goal. I want to improve my speaking. Smart goal. By the end of this month, I will practice speaking for 10 minutes every day by narrating my actions. I will record myself once a week to check my progress. When you set your goals, it is a good idea to have both long-term goals and short-term goals. A long-term goal is your big objective for the future. For example, in 1 year, I want to be able to watch a full movie in English with English subtitles and understand the main story. A short-term goal is a smaller step that helps you reach your long-term goal. For example, this week I will watch one 10-minute cartoon in English with English subtitles. Creating clear goals is like creating a map for your English journey. You know where you're going, and you know the steps you need to take to get there. This gives you clarity, focus, and a great sense of control over your own learning. Chapter 3. Finding your balance. The 4 core skills. A language is like a table with 4 legs. The 4 legs are the 4 core skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. If a table only has 1 or 2 strong legs, it is not stable. It will fall over. To be strong and balanced in English, you need to practice all 4 skills. They are all connected, and they all help each other. Let's think about how these skills are connected. To have a good conversation, you need to be good at speaking, but you also need to be good at listening. If you cannot understand what the other person is saying, you cannot give a good reply. So speaking and listening work together like a team. To be a good writer, you need to be a good reader. When you read, you see how good writers build sentences and organize their ideas. You learn new vocabulary and see correct grammar. All of this helps you to improve your own writing. So reading and writing are also a team. And all 4 skills are connected. For example, when you read a new word in a book, you are practicing your reading. If you write that word in your notebook, you are practicing writing. If you say the word out loud, you are practicing speaking. And if you hear that word later in a podcast, you are practicing listening. One word can help you practice all 4 skills. Why is balance important? Many English learners make the mistake of only focusing on 1 or 2 skills. Some learners only watch movies and listen to music. Their listening skills become very good, but they are too shy to speak. Some learners only use language apps to learn vocabulary. They know many words, but they cannot understand a real conversation. Some learners only study grammar books. They know all the rules, but they cannot use them in a natural way when they speak. The best way to learn English is to create a study plan that includes a little bit of practice for all 4 skills. This is what we call a balanced plan. How to create a balanced plan. You don't need to practice all 4 skills every single day. You can focus on different skills on different days of the week. Here is an example of a simple, balanced weekly plan. Monday and Wednesday input days. Focus on receiving information. You can practice listening with a podcast or a song and reading with a short story or an article. Tuesday and Thursday output days. Focus on producing the language. You can practice speaking by talking to yourself or a language partner, and writing by writing in your journal or sending a message to a friend. Friday, review day. Focus on vocabulary and grammar. You can review your notes from the week, use flashcards, or do some online quizzes. The weekend, fun day, do something you enjoy in English. Watch a movie, play a video game, or read a comic book. This helps you to relax and connect English with positive feelings. Of course, your personal goals will influence your plan. If your main goal is to travel, you will probably want to focus more on speaking and listening. If your main goal is to get a job where you have to write emails, you will want to focus more on writing and reading. But even if you have a specific focus, it is important to never completely ignore the other skills. A balanced approach will make your English stronger, more flexible, and more useful in all kinds of real-life situations. Remember the table with 4 legs. Keep all 4 legs strong, and your English will be stable and ready for anything. Chapter 4. Using the right materials, your tools for success. Imagine you want to build a house. You need tools. If you only have a small hammer, you cannot build a big, strong house. To learn English, you also need tools. Your tools are your learning materials. The books you read, the videos you watch, and the podcasts you listen to. Choosing the right materials is one of the most important decisions you will make on your learning journey. The right materials can make learning feel fun, motivating, and effective. The wrong materials can make learning feel frustrating, boring, and impossible. So how do you choose the right tools for the job? The most important rule: find your level. The biggest mistake that many learners make is choosing material that is too difficult for them. They want to learn fast. So they decide to read a famous English novel or watch a popular TV show for native speakers. But then a problem happens. They don't understand anything. They have to stop every 5 seconds to look up a word in the dictionary. After a few minutes, they feel tired and stupid. They lose their motivation and they quit. This is why it is so important to find material that is at your level or just a little bit challenging. The 95% rule. A good rule for choosing reading and listening material is the 95% rule. This means you should understand about 95% of the words. This way, you can understand the main story and enjoy it. But there are still a few new words for you to learn. If it's too hard, if you are listening or reading and you feel lost and frustrated, the material is probably too difficult. It is not your fault. Just stop and find something easier. There is no shame in using materials for beginners. If it's too easy, on the other hand, if you understand 100% of the words and you feel a little bored, the material might be too easy. It is good for building confidence, but you are not learning many new things. It is time to find something a little more challenging. Where to find level-appropriate materials for A2 learners? There are many fantastic resources available. Graded readers. We have talked about these before. They are books that are specially written for your level. They are the perfect tool for building your reading confidence. You can find them in bookstores or online. Podcasts for learners. Search for A2 English podcast. You will find many podcasts where the hosts speak slowly and clearly and often talk about interesting topics. YouTube channels for learners. Many YouTube channels like this one create videos specifically for different levels. They use simple language and often have subtitles. Websites for learners. Websites like News in Levels or BBC Learning English provide news articles written at different levels of difficulty. You can read the same news story at level 1, level 2, or level 3. This is a great way to see your progress. The second most important rule: find what you love. After you find your level, the next step is to find topics that you are genuinely interested in. Learning should be a pleasure, not a punishment. Think about your hobbies and passions. Do you love animals? Find a YouTube channel about cute animals in English. Do you love cooking? Find a blog with simple English recipes. Do you love history? Find a podcast that tells simple stories from history. When you use materials that you find interesting, you forget that you are studying. You are just enjoying your hobby. Your motivation will be much higher, and you will learn much more, much faster. Your learning materials are your tools. Choosing the right tools makes the job of building your English skills much easier and much more enjoyable. So, take the time to find the books, videos, and podcasts that are perfect for you. Chapter 5. Learning Vocabulary in Context. Vocabulary is the bricks you use to build your English house. The more bricks you have, the bigger and better your house can be. But how do you collect these bricks and make sure they are strong? Many learners try to build their vocabulary by memorizing long lists of words from a dictionary. They write the English word on one side of a paper and the translation in their language on the other. This method can feel productive. After an hour, you might have a list of 50 new words. But there is a problem with this method. The next day, you will probably forget most of those words. And even the words you remember, you might not know how to use them correctly in a sentence. This is because words on a list are like bricks scattered on the ground. They are not connected to anything. They don't have a home. The best way to learn and remember new vocabulary is to learn it in context. Context is the situation or the sentence where a word appears. When you learn a word in context, you are not just learning the word itself. You are learning its meaning, its use, and its friends. How context helps you learn. Let's look at an example. Imagine you want to learn the word journey. Learning from a list, you write in your notebook, journey equals vege. Okay, you know the translation, but how do you use it? Is it a long trip or a short trip? Is it for fun or for work? You don't know. Learning from context. Now imagine you read this sentence in a story. Learning a new language is like starting a long and exciting journey. Now you have much more information. You see that a journey is connected to words like long and exciting. You understand that it is not just a physical trip, but can also be a long process of learning or development. The sentence gives the word a home. It gives it meaning. Where to find words in context? The best places to find words in context are the places we have already talked about reading. When you read stories, articles, or blogs, you are seeing thousands of words used naturally in sentences. Listening. When you listen to podcasts or watch movies, you are hearing words used in real conversations. A better way to use your notebook. So you should throw away your vocabulary notebook. No, your notebook is still a very important tool, but you should change the way you use it. When you find a new word that you want to learn, don't just write the word and its translation. Instead, write the entire sentence where you found it. Example, you are reading a story and you see the sentence, "The little boy was brave." In your notebook, you should write brave adjective tenjuvalente. Example sentence, "The little boy was very brave." When you review your notebook, you will not just see a random word. You will see the word in its natural environment. This will help your brain to remember not only the meaning of the word, but also how to use it correctly in a sentence. Think of learning vocabulary, like making new friends. You don't get to know a person by just learning their name. You get to know them by spending time with them, by seeing them in different situations, and by learning who their other friends are. Treat new words in the same way. Don't just learn their names, learn their stories. Learn them in context. This is the secret to building a vocabulary that is not only big, but also useful and strong. Chapter 6. Surrounding yourself with English. Imagine you want to learn how to swim. You can read books about swimming and watch videos about swimming. But what is the fastest and most effective way to learn? It is to get in the pool, to surround yourself with water. Learning a language is very similar. The fastest way to learn English is to surround yourself with it. This is called immersion. Immersion means you make English a normal and necessary part of your daily life. You might think, but I don't live in an English-speaking country. How can I surround myself with English? The good news is that with today's technology, you can create an English world for yourself right in your own home. Let's look at some simple and practical ways to create your own English immersion environment. 1. Your digital world. We all spend many hours every day using our phones and computers. This digital world is a perfect place to start your immersion. Change your phone language. This is one of the easiest and most powerful tricks. Go to your phone settings and change the system language to English. At first, it will feel strange, but after a few days, it will feel normal. You will learn hundreds of useful words like settings, notifications, call, message, delete, and save without even trying. Change your app languages. You can also change the language of your favorite social media apps like Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok to English. You will start to see buttons like, comment, share, and follow in English. Change your computer language. Do the same thing with your computer or laptop. Every time you turn it on, you will be interacting with English. 2. Your home environment. You can also change your physical environment to include more English. Label everything. We talked about this before, but it is a great immersion technique. Get some sticky notes and label the objects in your house. Put a note that says door on your door. Put one that says window on your window. Label your refrigerator, sofa, television, and bed. Every time you see these objects, you will also see the English word. This creates a constant and effortless review. Shopping lists. When you need to go to the supermarket, try to write your shopping list in English. Instead of writing leche, write milk. Instead of pan, write bread. It's a simple, practical way to practice vocabulary for everyday life. 3. Your entertainment. The time you use for relaxation and entertainment can also be your English practice time. Music. Create a playlist of songs in English that you love. Listen to it when you are cooking, cleaning, or exercising. Let the sounds of English become a normal part of your day. TV and movies. We talked about the 3-step method for watching movies. Subtitles in your language, then English subtitles, then no subtitles. Try to make a rule for yourself. This week, one of the movies I watch will be in English. YouTube. Think about the topics you love to watch on YouTube. Do you like videos about travel, video games, makeup, or technology? Find a creator who makes videos about that topic in English. Subscribe to their channel. Now your entertainment is also your English lesson. 4. Your thinking. The final and most advanced step of immersion is to try to change the language you think in. Start with simple thoughts. You don't have to think about complex philosophy in English. Start with simple, everyday thoughts. Example: when you wake up, you can think to yourself, I am tired. I need coffee. Example: when you're hungry, you can think, what should I eat for lunch? Maybe a sandwich. This is difficult at first, but it is the ultimate goal of immersion. When you start thinking in English, you are no longer translating. You are using the language naturally and automatically. Creating an immersion environment doesn't happen in one day. You can start small. Choose 1 or 2 of these ideas to try this week. Maybe you can change your phone language today. Maybe you can find one YouTube channel in English to watch. Every small change you make helps to build your English world and makes your learning journey faster and more effective. Chapter 7. The power of active listening. Listening is often called a passive skill, but the best learners know that this is not true. To really improve your comprehension, you need to be an active listener. Active listening is a skill that you can build with practice. It will help you understand conversations, movies, and podcasts much more easily. Let's explore some simple techniques to transform your listening from passive to active. 1. Listen without distractions. In our busy lives, we often do many things at the same time. This is called multitasking. We listen to a podcast while we cook dinner. We have a YouTube video on while we are checking our emails. This is passive listening. Your brain is not fully focused on the English sounds. To practice active listening, you need to do the opposite. Find a time and a place where you can listen without distractions. Create a quiet space. Sit in a comfortable chair. Put your phone on silent and place it face down so you cannot see the screen. Focus for a short time. You don't need to do this for an hour. Start with just 5 or 10 minutes of focused listening. Choose your audio. Pick a short audio clip that is at your level. A podcast for a 2 learners is a perfect choice. Just listen. For these few minutes, your only job is to listen. Close your eyes if it helps you to focus. Try to understand the main idea. Try to hear the individual words. Try to notice the music of the language, the intonation, and rhythm. This focused practice is like a workout for your ears and your brain. It teaches your brain to pay close attention to English. 2. Listen with a pen and paper. Another way to make your listening active is to interact with the audio. Don't just let the sounds wash over you. Engage with them. Listen for keywords. Before you start listening, tell yourself, I'm going to write down the 5 most important words I hear. This gives you a mission. It forces you to listen for the words that carry the most meaning. Listen for a specific piece of information. Give yourself a question to answer. For example, if the podcast is about a trip to Paris, you can ask yourself, what places did the speaker visit? Then you listen carefully for the names of places like the Eiffel Tower or the Louvre Museum. Listen and write a summary. After you listen to the audio clip, pause it and try to write 1 or 2 sentences that summarize the main idea. This is a great way to check if you really understood the message. 3. Use the power of repetition. You do not have to understand everything the first time. Repetition is a key part of active listening. Listen multiple times. Listen to the same short audio clip 3 or 4 times. First time, just try to get the general topic. Second time, try to understand more details and write down any words you don't know. Third time, look up the new words and then listen again. You will be amazed at how much more you understand. 4. Combine listening with reading. As we discussed before, using a transcript is a super method because it combines listening and reading. Step 1. Listen to the audio without the text. Step 2. Listen to the audio while reading the text, the transcript. This connects the sounds to the words. Step 3. Read the text out loud yourself to practice pronunciation. Step 4. Listen one final time without the text. The audio will sound much clearer and easier to understand. By using these active listening techniques, you are taking control of your learning. You are training your brain to be a better, more focused listener. This will not only help you understand podcasts and movies, but it will also prepare you for the most important listening skill of all, understanding real people in real conversations. Chapter 8. The Courage to Write and Speak. Listening and reading are input skills. You are taking information into your brain. Speaking and writing are output skills. You are producing information from your brain. For many learners, the output skills are much scarier. Why? Because when you speak or write, you can make mistakes, and other people can see or hear those mistakes. This fear of making mistakes can be a big barrier. It can stop learners from practicing the most important skills. In this chapter, we will talk about how to find the courage to practice writing and speaking, and we will explore some simple, low-pressure ways to start. 1. Understanding mistakes. The first step is to change your mindset about mistakes. A mistake is not a sign of failure. A mistake is a sign that you are trying. Mistakes are necessary. It is impossible to learn a language without making mistakes. Impossible. Every fluent speaker you meet has made thousands of mistakes on their journey. Mistakes are your teachers. When you make a mistake and someone corrects you or you correct yourself, you learn something new. The memory of the mistake can actually help you to remember the correct form better. Communication is the goal, not perfection. When you are speaking to someone, their main goal is to understand your message. They are not listening for your small grammar mistakes. If your message is clear, you have succeeded. So please give yourself permission to be imperfect. Give yourself permission to make mistakes. This is the most important step to finding the courage to write and speak. 2 simple ways to practice writing. You don't need to write a long essay to practice your writing. You can start with very small, simple, and safe exercises. The daily journal. We have talked about this before. A private journal is a safe space. No one will see it. You can write about your day, your feelings, or your thoughts. Start with just 1 or 2 sentences a day. The goal is to build the habit and the confidence. Write comments online. This is a great low-pressure way to practice real communication. When you watch a YouTube video you like, write a simple comment in English. "Thank you for this video. It was very helpful." Or "This story was very interesting." The community is often very supportive. The copywork method. This is a classic technique. Find a short paragraph of English that you like. It could be from a book or an article. Now, copy it exactly into your notebook by hand. This is not a creative exercise, but it is very powerful. When you copy, you are paying attention to every detail, spelling, punctuation, and sentence structure. You are absorbing the patterns of good writing. 3. Simple ways to practice speaking. You don't need to have a long, complex conversation to practice speaking. Speak to yourself. This is the safest way to start. You can narrate your day, read a book out loud, or answer practice questions. The goal is to get your mouth used to making English sounds and your brain used to forming English sentences. Use a language partner for short, specific tasks. When you find a language partner online, you don't have to have a 1-hour conversation. You can start with something small. You can agree to exchange short voice messages every day. For example, you can send a 30-second voice message telling your partner about your day. They can do the same. This is much less scary than a live call. Prepare for conversations. If you are nervous about talking to a language partner, you can prepare. Before you talk, think of 3 or 4 questions you want to ask them. Write them down. Also, think about some things you want to talk about. Maybe you want to talk about a movie you saw or a book you are reading. When you have a small plan, you will feel much more confident. The journey to confident speaking and writing is built on small, brave steps. Start with the exercises that feel safe and manageable for you. Celebrate every sentence you write and every word you speak. You have the courage inside you. You just need to let it out. Chapter 9. Making technology your friend. We are very lucky to be learning English in the 21st century. We have a powerful teacher in our pockets and on our desks, technology. The internet, our smartphones, and our computers give us access to an amazing world of resources and tools. If you use it wisely, technology can be your best friend on your English learning journey. It can make learning more fun, more convenient, and much more effective. Let's explore some of the best ways to use technology as your learning buddy. 1. Language learning apps, your personal tutor. There are hundreds of apps designed for learning English. These apps can be a great way to build a foundation, especially for vocabulary and grammar. What they are good for? Apps are great for short daily practice. They often feel like a game, which makes learning fun and motivating. They are perfect for learning basic vocabulary and seeing simple sentence structures. How to use them effectively. Choose 1 or 2 apps that you like and use them consistently. Try to do a short lesson every day. Remember, these apps are a tool, but they are not a complete solution. You still need to practice with real-world materials like books and podcasts. 2. Online dictionaries, your word explorer. A good online dictionary is an essential tool. It is much faster than a paper dictionary, and it often has extra features. Choosing a good dictionary for 2 learners. A dictionary that gives simple definitions in English is a great choice. The Cambridge Learner Dictionary or the Oxford Learner Dictionaries are excellent options. They also provide example sentences and audio pronunciation. How to use it? When you find a new word, don't just look at the translation. Listen to the pronunciation. Read the example sentences. Try to understand the English definition. This helps you to start thinking in English. 3. YouTube, your free video library. YouTube is an incredible resource for English learners, and it is completely free. You can find videos on any topic you can imagine. Channels for English learners. There are thousands of wonderful teachers on YouTube who create lessons for every level. You can find videos on grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and learning tips. Find a few teachers whose style you like and subscribe to their channels. Watching for fun. Remember to use YouTube for fun, too. Find channels in English about your hobbies. Whether you like makeup, history, science, or cars, there is a channel for you. Watching videos you enjoy is a fantastic way to improve your listening skills. Using YouTube's features, don't forget to use the tools that YouTube gives you. You can slow down the speed of the video if the speaker is too fast. You can turn on the subtitles, captions in English to help you understand. 4. Language exchange websites and apps. Your global connection technology allows you to connect with people from all over the world. You can practice speaking with a native English speaker without ever leaving your home. How they work. Websites and apps like HelloTalk, Tandem, and Speaky help you find a language exchange partner. You find a native English speaker who wants to learn your language. Then you can help each other. You can spend half the time speaking in English so they can help you, and half the time speaking in your language so you can help them. How to start? You can start with just text messages. When you feel more confident, you can send short voice messages. And when you are ready, you can have a live video call. This is one of the best ways to practice real conversation. A final tip: be the boss of your technology. Technology is a wonderful servant, but it can be a terrible master. The internet is full of distractions. It is very easy to plan to study English for 20 minutes and then find yourself watching funny cat videos for an hour instead. When it is your dedicated study time, be focused. Turn off notifications from other apps. Close your social media tabs. Use technology as a deliberate tool for your learning. By using these digital tools in a smart and focused way, you can make your English learning journey faster, more effective, and much more interesting. Chapter 10. The journey is the reward. We have reached the end of our guide. We have traveled a long way together. We started with the idea of magic shortcuts and learned that the real path to success is not magic, but method. It is a path of active, consistent, and enjoyable work. Let's take a moment to look back at the most important lessons we have learned on our journey today. 1. Find your fire, your motivation. Everything starts with your why. Your reason for learning English is the fuel for your journey. It is what will keep you going on difficult days. Make your reason personal, specific, and emotional. Write it down and look at it often. 2. Be an active learner, not a passive observer. Your brain learns best when it is engaged. Don't just let English happen around you. Interact with it. Ask questions, take notes, summarize, speak, and write. Turn every learning opportunity into an active workout for your brain. 3. Small steps every day lead to big results. Consistency is the secret ingredient to success. A small amount of focused practice every single day is much more powerful than a long study session once a week. Build a simple, realistic routine that you can stick to. 4. Make it fun. You will never continue doing something that you hate. Find a way to connect English with your passions and interests. Read about your hobbies. Listen to your favorite music. Watch movies you love. When learning is a joy, it never feels like work. 5. Be brave and make mistakes. Fear is the biggest enemy of a language learner. You must be brave enough to speak even if you are not perfect. You must be brave enough to write even if you make mistakes. Every mistake is a lesson. Every attempt is a victory. 6. Be patient and kind to yourself. Learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be good weeks and bad weeks. There will be moments of great progress and moments where you feel stuck on a plateau. This is the normal rhythm of learning. Do not compare your journey to anyone else's. Your path is your own. The only person you should compete with is the person you were yesterday. Celebrate your small successes. Be proud of how far you have come. Every word you know today is a word you did not know before. You have started one of the most rewarding adventures of your life. Learning English will open doors you cannot yet imagine. It will bring you new friends, new opportunities, and new ways of seeing the world. You have already shown your dedication by completing this long reading practice today. You have the focus and the determination to succeed. The journey ahead is long, but it is also beautiful. Trust the process. Be consistent, and most importantly, enjoy every step of your wonderful adventure with the English language. Congratulations! You have just finished reading a very, very long text in English. That is an incredible achievement, and you should be extremely proud of your focus and dedication today. We have explored a complete step-by-step guide to learning English. I hope you feel motivated and now have a clear plan for your own studies. Remember, the most important step is always the next one you take. So, for your practice today, I have a question. What is the number one tip from this video that you are going to start using this week? Is it creating a routine, finding a language partner, or maybe labeling things in your house? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this special guided reading lesson helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Speak Up English for more content to improve your English skills. Keep practicing, keep believing in yourself, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Goodbye. We're going to talk about one of the most powerful tools for learning English, reading. This exercise will help you see how ideas are structured, learn new vocabulary and context, and practice processing information directly in English. Our topic is why reading is so important and how you can use it to improve your English every day. So get ready to focus and read along. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Why reading is your best friend. When you are learning a new language, there are many things to study. You have to learn grammar, practice listening, and be brave enough to speak. Sometimes it can feel difficult, but there is one activity that helps with all parts of your learning. That activity is reading. Reading in English is one of the most complete exercises you can do. It is like a full workout for your brain. When you read, you are practicing many skills at the same time. You are learning new words, seeing correct grammar, and understanding how sentences are built. For many people, reading in a new language seems like a difficult task at first. Maybe you have tried to read a book in English before, and you felt frustrated. Maybe there were too many words you did not know. This is a normal feeling. Every language learner has this experience at the beginning. But with a little patience and with the right books, reading can become one of the most enjoyable and rewarding parts of your English journey. A rewarding activity is something that makes you feel good and proud of yourself after you do it. Being able to read a story or an article in another language is a wonderful achievement. It shows you that you are making real progress. It gives you confidence. In this book, we are going to explore the many benefits of reading in English. We will see how this simple activity can help you become a better speaker, a better writer, and a more confident English user. We will also give you some simple tips to help you start your reading adventure today. So, let's turn the page and begin to discover the magic of reading. Chapter 2. Benefit 1. You learn new words naturally. One of the biggest and most important benefits of reading is that it helps you expand your vocabulary. To expand your vocabulary means to increase the number of words you know. Of course, you can learn new words by memorizing lists from a textbook, but this is often boring and it is easy to forget the words later. Reading offers a much more natural and effective way to learn. When you read, you do not see words in a list. You see words in a real context inside a real sentence. This context helps you to understand the meaning of the word much more easily. Let's look at an example. Imagine you are reading a story, and you see this sentence. The little girl was very brave. She was not afraid of the big dark dog. Maybe you do not know the word brave, but you can use the rest of the sentence as a clue. The sentence says she was not afraid, so you can guess that brave means something similar to not being afraid. This is learning from context. It is a very powerful skill. Every time you read a new book or a new article, you will meet new words. A good idea is to have a notebook with you when you read. When you see a new word that seems important, you can underline it in the book. After you finish reading the page or the chapter, you can write these new words in your notebook. But do not just write the word and its translation. To remember the word better, you should also write the full sentence from the story where you found it. For example, in your notebook, you can write brave. The little girl was very brave. When you write the full sentence, you remember how the word is used. This is much more effective than just memorizing a single word. Reading many different types of texts like stories, news articles, and blogs will introduce you to a wide variety of words. Your vocabulary will grow bigger and bigger with every page you read. And the best part is that you are learning these new words while enjoying a story or learning about a topic you are interested in. This makes the process much more fun than just studying a list. Chapter 3. Benefit 2. Your grammar gets better automatically. Grammar can be one of the most difficult parts of learning a new language. There are so many rules to remember: verb tenses, prepositions, articles, and sentence structure. Studying grammar from a textbook can feel complicated and, for many people, very boring. But what if I told you there is a way to improve your grammar without studying grammar rules for hours? That way is reading.